they've been in debt, like they've not made their money back from some of the tournaments. The expense rate that the teams, the World Rugby goes through is quite a bit. Again, they have to cater for this, the players' flights, the players' accommodation, the players' meals, and everything, and the support staff that they have to have in these various tournaments. So when they cut out a leg, it's either most likely they did not make any funds from it, or they're not making enough money from it. And as many might know or might not know, how Sevens Rugby came off. Sevens Rugby came as an offshoot of 15s.
The reduction of number of teams doesn't mean the reduction of legs. And that's what most people don't understand.
Yeah.
The legs are still going to be there because the legs are counted to accommodate the number of tournaments to allow you to accumulate the because it's a league format. You're supposed to go through a circuit of a leg, and with that circuit of a leg, you collect points, and they tell you the points, and they decide who's going to be the champion, the runners-up, and up to the teams that are being relegated. So just because the USA might be relegated, it doesn't mean that the tournament is being scrapped.
Konye, tell us, is it true that LA7s and the US altogether might be dropped from the LA7 from the 7 circuit, or are these just rumors? Konye.
Well, again, first off, I think I want to echo the point of people going to the stadium. Again, this is one time that you get a chance to watch the girls and the men's play on the same field. And as might have been mentioned, there's going to be 2 pitches. So I think first day we're playing on pitch 2. And on the qualification, after qualifying, the semis and the finals are going to be played in the main pitch. Other thing I want to tell people that all our games are done early. So again, they're starting at midday. That's Kilewa sana Friday.
Wow, midday?
Yeah.
Kilewa sana Friday. Games inaanza saa 5. Lazima utuko umeamka by saa 5 uende study. And the same thing on Sunday. The games are starting a little later, like about 11 o'clock. So you don't have an excuse not to show up to the stadium. And the tickets are fairly affordable. Just show up, let's go study, let's make some memories out there in the stadium. And I'm actually trying to see if we can have OneMicShow on the road up there in the stadium.
Yes, that's a challenge, yes.
What?
Yeah,
He removed that one. Konye umetupa hiyo kitu, eh?
Amemwaga mtama.
Put
us on the spot.
So I encourage everybody to show up at the stadium. Again, remember, the thing that brought you to LA, or if you come to LA, I know you want to go party and everything, but remember what brought everybody there. The players. Go cheer them. Make your presence known in the stand, and then after that, you can go celebrate as much as you want. We'll talk about that later.
So there's a correction over here. Yeah. Ben Ifyongo says 32 teams will be playing in LA for 2 days. There's a correction. Kickoff is at 10 a.m., but Kenya is playing around noon.
So kickoff is at 10 a.m., but Kenya is playing around noon.
Yes.
And if you want to get the full you want to make sure you're there in the stadium before by 11 a.m.
By 11:30.
By 11 a.m. by 11 you want to be sure.
You kick out.
If you need to go buy food or whatever,
walk around,
you can
go
do
to
all
the
that.
Kenya corner, you uingie vizuri.
So okay, so that's the stadium part. What about LA7s and the US altogether being dropped from the 7th side? Rumor, I'm a true story.
Well, again, that's honestly, to be honest, I think that's going to be a rumor, because considering LA is going to be hosting the Olympics in 2028, I think they're going to fight. They're going to fight for it. They're going to fight to have this series played sometime in the summertime, because again, Olympics is a summer sport, so there's a high chance that this series is going to stay in LA. Again, it might be pushed to the outskirts of LA, because again, downtown, the LA area is a little crowded, but I think it's going to stay.
Okay.
But then I think to add on to that, why the rumor came out. Why the rumor came out is because when they say that they're going to reduce the number of teams that are playing into the core tournament, the USA is also playing in the Challengers Cup. What most people don't actually realize that USA is also in the Challengers Cup. They didn't perform really well in the core in the core tournament. So they didn't have automatic qualification. So, but then the thing is, the teams that are in the Challenger Cup are better than USA. They're teams Kenya, Spain, the teams which are better than the USA. And there's a chance that the USA might be knocked out, like Canada was knocked out.
Yeah.
Now, the thing is that the reduction of number of teams doesn't mean the reduction of legs. And that's what most people don't understand.
Yeah.
The legs are still going to be there because the legs are counted to accommodate the number of tournaments to allow you to accumulate the because it's a league format. You're supposed to go through a circuit of a leg, and with that circuit of a leg, you collect points, and they tell you the points, and they decide who's going to be the champion, the runners-up, and up to the teams that are being relegated. So, just because the USA might be relegated, it doesn't mean that the tournament is being scrapped. So there's that bit of clarity that needs to be communicated to people so that they can understand. Many people might push that narrative that this might be the last tournament in LA so that they can attract people to go to LA for other motives or whatever it is, but let's be realistic on how we communicate certain things. We might play in the Challengers Cup. We might not play in the main series cup. It doesn't mean that the tournament is going away, because the tournament has a certain number of legs, and those number of legs are supposed to be able to give us a league table for accumulation of points.
Okay, interesting. So now, now just going back to Konya again, and Mika, thank you so much for that explanation, because I think there was a lot of loose talk on social media, and that's why you have to get to a forum where there's accountability to get the real information. Now, Konya, maybe talk to us about that possibility of teams being reduced, because I know it used to be 16 teams, and then it was reduced down to 12 teams, and that's when Kenya got relegated because it got tougher. And then now there's talk, again, I don't know if this is real or if it's also talk, that they want to reduce it to 8 teams. And if that's the case, why would they want to reduce it to 8 teams? How would it benefit the tournament? And what exactly would this mean now that it's more difficult to qualify? We know, of course, what it would mean for the team. It's much more difficult to qualify. But what would it mean for the fans if it's fewer teams that are playing in the core tournament? Does it mean fewer people going out to LA or to all these other cities where rugby is being played, Dubai and Cape Town and all that? Konye?
Yeah. So again, it's challenging times for sports, unfortunately. All this comes with sponsorships, and everything else that comes along. It takes a lot of money to run these programs, and during these tournaments, I get to talk to some of the officials and some of the higher ups in world rugby. And the main concern that they usually have is that they've been in debt, like they've not made their money back from some of the tournaments. The expense rate that the teams, the world rugby goes through is quite a bit. Again, they have to cater for this, the players' flights, the players' accommodation, the players' meals, and everything, and the support staff that they have to have in these various tournaments. So when they cut out a leg, it's either most likely they did not make any funds from it, or they're not making enough money from it. And as many might know or might not know, how Sevens rugby came off. Sevens rugby came as an offshoot of 15s. Majority of rugby, 15s is what brings world rugby money. And historically, 15s used to support, sevens. So until the toddler started crawling and started running, and now it's being told, the toddler needs to be told that it's an adult. Now they can move out of the big papa's house and they start making their own money. So the pockets get tighter and you have to start cutting budgets. So as you said, there previously were 16 teams, but again, the men's team was separate. The men's teams were playing separately than the women's teams. They were in separate leagues. Up until 3 years ago, that's when everything was integrated, and they had to cut down the teams because, just try and imagine, if you have 16 men's teams and 16 women's teams in the same weekend, that's a lot of teams to play rugby in one weekend.
Yeah.
So again, that's why you need like 2 fields or whatever, or 3 fields, and that becomes a little cumbersome and more expensive. So cutting down the teams, they're cutting it for cost and to be able to accommodate availability of these games being played all in the same weekend. Again, you don't want to have to be playing like a 4-day weekend of playing rugby. It becomes more expensive. I think it's an expense factor. And again, you might realize rugby is the only sport that actually matches 1-to-1 men's and women's. Unlike soccer, every world rugby, world soccer women playing different leagues and men playing different leagues. They don't all play in the same tournament. So rugby is, again, it's doing it's more of it started off as a major experiment, and again it came to stay, and it's here to stay. So there's really nothing much we can do. We just have to fight to be in the top spots so that we can be able to get the time of play that we need.
So if it gets cut to 8, and let's say for one reason or another, Kenya does not qualify. Let's just say, for example, for the men's and the women's, meaning there's no Kenyan team playing in the core. Doesn't that mean that there's fewer people going out to the stadiums to watch the games because Kenyans are usually a big number? So I'm trying to understand where the money part comes in, because my thinking is when you have more countries, you get more people coming in. Or is there something that I'm missing?
That is true. And the math is correct in your head. But I don't know whether it is correct in the people who make these decisions.
Yes.
Because again, even if you're trying to cut costs and you're decreasing the number of teams, so basically you're decreasing the number of people that are going to be coming to watch some of these games. But again, the background talk is that they're going to have the top elite teams, allegedly the top 8 teams, and then there's going to be another bracket where they're going to have another, I think, 6 or 8 teams again in another tier and another challenger series. So I don't know how they're going to break it down. Unfortunately, World Rugby has not released a statement. The statement official statement has not been released by World Rugby, except again, there have been some unions, especially in South America, that have voiced the concern and have shared some of the information that we're relying on. Right. But official word is yet to be said as to what is going to happen. There has been talks that there possibly might be cut locations of the play. Again, this is yet to be decided.
Okay. All right.
And then to a brief add on what Konye is saying is that remember, this will be the second cut that is happening if there is going to be a cut. Right? Before the core series, before this relegation that came in, the core series was longer than how it was right now. So this will be another second cut, and it's going to be like in 2-3 years time. Relegation and promotion was not there 3 years ago. It's not there, so it's a new thing that has just come in. So this is going to be another cut that is coming in, and we also have to look at it and see that even if they say that they are, because the most constant rumor is that even if they cut the series, they're still going to be channeling money in the challengers, which doesn't make sense to me, because as Konya said, the math in your head is right, the math in the head is quite different, because why are you saying that you're cutting costs and then that same money you're still giving the teams that are going to be playing in the lower division? And remember, the first relegation, the first cutting of the tournament, the teams in the tournament that happened has led to some teams not being seen. Teams like Tonga were constant teams that we're seeing in the seventh circuit.
Yes,
they've
correct.
never made
it.
Yeah,
they've never made it back. Yeah.
Yeah, they never. Yeah, we don't see such teams anymore. So it makes it makes you think like other sports are increasing numbers. Soccer is increasing the number of teams in the World Cup, right? We find Olympics increasing the number of sports and teams into the Olympics. We find like other tournaments increasing numbers, whereas rugby cutting numbers. So, as Konya said, these rumors are there. There might be discussions that are happening, but how does it help the growth of the sevens game? And at a moment right now, whereby in the whole rugby world, 7s and 15s, the growth of rugby has somehow stunted. If we look at leagues in countries like England and France, we're seeing teams that used to pay top dollar, paying good money, are not doing that well financially. So we have to look at things and see, as in, there's a lot of information we're getting, a lot of rumors that are coming. World Rugby haven't given us everything. Where there's smoke, there's fire. So there's some truth to this information that is being shared out. But also, let's not just panic and start sharing out messages of panic out there because we've had rumors. Yes, there's rumors that are coming out, people are talking about it. But until World Rugby says this and explains it, let's wait and see. But as Ali, what you're saying, reduction of number of teams doesn't help the growth of rugby in any way.
Yeah, like, and even the Challenger series, like when I watch them on TV, like you notice...
If you can watch it on TV.
Well, kama uko na Fire Stick. We know some people's Fire Sticks are in but
Nigeria.
On air.
But that's a story for another day.
On air, namesema.
Should have just kept quiet.
That's a story for another day. But when you watch some of those games, because I was watching quite a few of them, some of those stadiums, they're fairly empty. Like not many people are going to watch those games. So I think, like Mika said, and also like Benny saying here on YouTube and what Konye is saying, let's wait for the official word. But again, where there's smoke, there's fire. And I know time is running out for Konye. We have a few more minutes with him. Now, Konye, some questions arise about how Kenyans out here in the diaspora can help support the game. I know you've been heavily involved with the women's team and also in youth development. Please briefly talk to us about your involvement and how the diaspora can support Konye.
So again, there's always a question of where is the talent and how is the talent seen. Again, I'm involved quite a bit with grassroots rugby in Kenya. There are some teams that I support in Kenya, and I'm a big fan of rugby. So again, not just being out there, just cheering for the main cap. Like, the main guys in the main series or in the main 7 series, I always try to do that as much as I can, even for the lower divisions. So again, there is a Futures Cup that's coming up. It's actually in the works, organized by DBA, which actually, as you may see this shirt, this is a shirt from DBA, supporting Kenya grassroots rugby. And basically, there's a tournament that is being planned out for age grade rugby. Basically, where you start kids that are 13, 15, under 13, you have an under 15 tournament and under 18 tournament. So, and it's nationwide, where select players from every province all compete in one big tournament. And then this tournament, again, we're seeking funds from well-wishers, from rugby lovers.
It's okay.
Murima effect. Imenda.
All the rugby
hold
lovers.
a scalpel to his neck. This one.
Always, they can always support. They can always support a team. A group of people can support a team. OneMicShow can even support a team, and you can have your OneMicShow on the front of the jersey. Imagine that.
Okay.
Planting seeds. Plant seeds.
Sales, nafikiri hata clothing line yake ataingishia tu sahihi tu. Just wait and
no worries, we have invoices.
Again, sponsoring a team, you can sponsor a team. Again, if a group comes up together to come up with about 500, half an M in Kenya, 300 to half an M, you can sponsor a team. And imagine what that does to these kids. This last month, we took some kids, some of the elite kids from last year. They got in a tournament. They went to Uganda and played, and those kids had so much fun. They played against their Uganda elite teams. So these are the kids that are potentially going to be playing, are going to be qualifying for World Cup rugby. If we're ever going to qualify for World Cup rugby, this is among the grassroots rugby that's going to be able to get us to that point. It is, again, it's a very, very, very good opportunity, and all the information is available on the DBA website, and anybody can DM me about it, and I can be able to provide the information.
So what is DBA? And give us that DBA website, because I think a lot of people are not familiar.
Database administrator. Or doing business as.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry, my bad.
Yeah. Where Konye?
This guy.
So DBA is actually it's an organization that was created. Basically, DBA means dream, believe, achieve. Wow. It's an organization that is in Kenya, and again, mostly focuses on finding talent and exploring talent and exposing the kids to a point where they can be able to get scholarship. Again, they participate in a lot of sports. We have rugby. We have some kids from lacrosse, and now we have actually got into some athletics. Basically, we are trying to find funds and expose kids to where somebody can be able to see them. Again, you don't want to say that a kid plays really good in the grassroots or out in the wilderness and nobody knows. So when you give them an exposure, like for example, the Futures tournament that we're going to have, this kid's talent gets seen. And all the scouts always show up. They're like, oh, who's this kid? Then they get a scholarship. We got some kids in the UK. We have some kids here in the US that have got scholarships through it. So again, it's a great opportunity, and it's an opportunity for growth.
Okay, all right. So and what's the website? What's the web address?
The web address is DBA. It is dbaafrica.com.
dbaafrica.com. We're going to post it there. Yeah, so for those who want to support, just go onto that website, dbaafrica.com, and see where you can come in. Like Konye said, 300, 400,000, and not dollars. That's Kenya shillings. Is that correct?
So total. So to run a team, if you want to support like a team from, say, for example, I'm from Rift Valley.
Yeah.
So I'm from South Rift. So when I come from South Rift and I want to support the team from Nakuru, it's probably going to cost me about 3,000 USD.
Yeah.
I can have whatever print I want there. If I want to do Camp Konya on this side, Camp Konya on the back side, and Camp Konya on this side, and Dr. Konya in the back, I can do whatever. Even
your face, you can print it if you want.
You can. You can get exposure. Again, for these people with businesses that want to advertise, especially in Kenya. Again, that's one of those opportunities that you can be able to get.
I'm a people who want to become politicians.
And you want to be politicians, again, we'll take your money. As long as it's not affecting the kids in any way.
But you can't guarantee the vote. But you can't guarantee the vote.
You can't guarantee the vote. You cannot guarantee the vote.
Okay.
So that's a good opportunity for people to support. And as I said, again, it's for the kids who are growing up, talent that has been untapped. So these are the future of Kenya.
Is this the same organization that found a pathway for a former rugby player who's now a sprinting phenomenon who goes by the name Ferdinand Omanyala?
Yeah, that's the same organization. Again, unfortunately, we had to part ways. But again, that was among the discovery route.
Okay, that's how. So they can actually even look at talent and tell you where upper kwa track you might do better than on the rugby pitch.
Exactly.
Okay. All right. Okay. So that's good. You're tuned into the One Mic Show, and of course we are about to lose Konye. We are shortly going to be giving some tickets. These tickets are only going to be for people who are going to be in LA. Two things I want you to do, Konye, before you go. Upcoming rugby calendar. I think we already mentioned Cape Fear Sevens, and then and I think there's some other and then there's some people hapa on on Facebook who are saying they cannot see your shirt. So I don't know exactly what that means or exactly how the full shirt can be seen.
Ama they want to see.
I think that's what it is.
On the side.
Hapa kuna watoto wana watch. Even
the kids. Even Konye
yes.
And
So we'll take a screenshot. For those who want to see the shirt, Slay was asking that question. We'll take a screenshot of the shirt and we'll say it's a very nice shirt. Kwanza Konye hiyo yako inakaa like inakaa inaweza nitosha. Inaweza nitosha in certain parts.
Dimensions.
Yeah, in certain parts, not everywhere.
Yes.
But I'm setting my body up for next summer.
Inaweza pasuliwa nyuma.
Kutana na mimi next summer utashangaa.
Inaweza pasuliwa nyuma.
Utashangaa.
Akupe tu.
Next summer World Cup. Unajua next summer ni World Cup. Kutana na mimi huko
Ayali Konye ni kutana na hao wote watatu watashangaa. Ile mbio naoleta mbio.
Yes. By next World Cup. Yani hata
So as you guys have said, so what upcoming rugby things Again, after LA Sevens, there's a big tournament. It's going to be in North Carolina, Cape Fear Sevens, from the 27th to the 29th. So it's a long weekend at the beach in Wilmington, North Carolina. It's always a big tournament that we have for the Kenya teams, Kenya Exiles here in the US. Many people are not familiar with Kenya Exiles. Most former, current rugby players from Kenya. We are all in one organization called Kenya Exiles here, and we participate in this one large tournament called Cape Fear Sevens. Hopefully, in the near future, we can be able to participate in more than one tournament. But this year, we have this big tournament in North Carolina, starting on the 27th, throughout the weekend until the 26th, planned for the 26th until the 30th. We have a golf tournament on a Friday, and then there is rugby Saturday, Sunday, and every day we can get to go to the beach. It's a white sand beach, and it's beautiful. And there is a lot of dunda. And we have a Kenya corner there that we party. We have our own DJ, our own resident DJs, and we have Kenyan food. So it's a lot of fun. Families are welcome, and it's a very good opportunity to be out there in the sun and having a good blast.
Okay, all right. Cape Fear Sevens. What are the dates again?
The Cape Fear Sevens from the 27th. The tournament itself runs the 28th and the 29th. That's Saturday, Sunday.
Yeah.
But then you usually tell people to come in on Thursday and plan to leave on Tuesday, because you need some days of
because it's like that.
You need to manage.
No.
These are the doctor's order.
Yeah.
From
Dagitari. Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. And then kuna World Cup qualifiers pia.
So yeah, another one thing is again in Uganda in July there's going to be a World Cup qualifier for the World Cup. Again, there's a chance. Kenya is fighting for a chance to be able to qualify for World Cup.
That will be big. The 15th World Cup. The 15th.
Yeah, World Cup 15th. 15 World Cup.
Is it Shujaa or Lioness?
What's that?
Is it Shujaa or Lioness?
Oh, so it's going to be the Shujaa. So the Simbas.
Oh,
okay,
Simbas,
that will be a big deal.
Those are all Simbas.
Yeah.
Okay.
So the Simbas are going to be fighting to get a position, to see if they can get a position to qualify for World Cup. That's going to be a big tournament in July. So whoever is going to be available, Uganda is always vibes. That's the last time where we talked from, and I tell you what, never fails.
Okay. Now, what does it take for Kenya to qualify to the World Cup? Are we playing? Because I know there's been two big obstacles for Kenya towards the World Cup. There's been Namibia, and there's also been Zimbabwe. Because South Africa is on another level. Yeah, so we don't even discuss them. But those are been the two main obstacles for Kenya getting to the. How are we looking now compared to those two teams?
Well, it is tough. It is an uphill battle.
It is tough.
Yeah,
it is a tough battle. Again, if you've watched the Under-20 World Cup, that Under-20 Bathurst Cup that is currently going on in Zimbabwe, you can see those kids. Our Under-20 performs really well.
Yeah,
but there is always a disconnect. And again, this is what we're trying to fix with grassroots rugby, where our Under-20 perform really well, and then when you go to the main cup, we cannot perform. So this is a gap that needs to be bridged. Again, like most teams, if you look at South Africa, how they train from the grassroots. All these kids do the same thing, same drills throughout their playing career, such that when they join the national team, the coaching staff just polishes.
So they have a vision that they start seeing this vision from very young, and I think it also happens in soccer in countries like the Netherlands, in countries like Italy, in countries like Germany. So they have this vision. So by the time they are meeting, they all have that similar vision, and it's easier for them to gel.
Exactly.
Yeah, but then Ali, the one thing is that the disconnect in Kenya is quite simple. It's in club rugby. If you've ever played high school rugby in Kenya and then age group rugby, alafu ingie ESS, which is ESS na team 2, that is a very intense rugby that is quite athleticism, running, nini, you have to be sharp and everything. Ukiingia timu ya Kenya Cup, kuna na culture ingine different ya Kenya Cup and everywhere else. Like you once you go to the main teams that play in the Kenya Cup, na vile ziko. Kuna vile rugby yako inaanza kuwa kupose. Kwa laziness fulani kuingia, like it's a different, and that's what happens now when it comes to the national team. Because yes, the Kenya Cup players are good players. I'm not saying they're bad. They're very good players, right? They're there by merit. That's why they're playing the Kenya Cup. But the disconnect happens when you start playing in Kenya Cup. It's a matter of like every team wants to win. The points. Hapa ni rugby ya kutumia like inakuwa more of akili, more of how things attend. Then in the national team, because each team has been training differently for getting their own, achieving what they want to achieve for the season. Mkena national team kuna kwa neo disconnect yenye ile age group rugby mkitoka high school ni wote mlikuwa mna train same, mnacheza same, mkicheza ESS mnacheza same. Mkifika Kenya Cup kila mtu mna team different. Player wa KCB, player Impala, player Nordis, player like kuabisha kwa wavelength same kwa sababu zote zilikuwa na njia different ya kushinda ligi inakuwa a bit hard.
Okay.
So that is the disconnect that we have between us ukicompare na countries zingine. If you look at team kaza SA, teams za SA na nini, even their club teams, New Zealand, England, France, their club teams, when they go to the national team, there's very little adjustment they need to do, as Konya says. It's just polishing on how to get these guys, the top talents, to play together.
Some very technical rugby talk
we would
today.
never have known that.
Yeah, we would never have known that.
But you have to be in the inside to know this.
Yeah, so Konye, give us your last word because I know you were getting ready to go for work. And Alex kama uko, just be kuwa tayari. We are going to be checking in with you.
He can correct me if I'm wrong, Pia.
Yeah. No, yeah. So Konye, like give us your last word because you're about to go to work, and then like I was saying, Alex, jitayarishe with the free tickets that we're about to give out for people who are going to be coming to LA. So Konye, give us your last word.
So again, my parting words are going to be very simple. Again, rugby is a passion. Rugby for me is just something that gives me an opportunity to give back to society of a talent that I never had, and I appreciate the talent that is the talent that I get to see. I see these kids putting their lives on the line, their bodies on the line, literally their joints. You see some kids break their joints playing for the game that they love, for a career that they've always loved. And again, that motivates me to just keep showing up and cheer them. And as I want to say that, again, there are some people that I've lured in. Again, Bamo, I've lured her into coming in to support the team. And Jerry always comes up. Evans from the UK comes up and supports the team. And wherever we go, we make some waves. We find new friends. We make new friends for Kenya. And again, we always trying to raise the Kenyan flag a lot higher. What I always advocate is, again, we need more support. We need more support on the ground for the players. As we have seen, the sponsorships are always going to be coming in. We just have to figure out a good way to keep maintaining good rapport with the sponsors so that they can continue sponsoring our sport that we love. Again, there's always going to be politics. And the one thing that I say about rugby is that when you see these kids play, it doesn't matter what political party they came from. It doesn't matter where they come from. They all play for one cause. They play for the game they love and for the country that they were born in and the country that they love. So all we can do is get behind them and support them. Sometimes there are going to be losses. The main thing is that you have to realize is that when you lose, you learn to be a better winner. And I always say this one thing, that no player dons on a Kenyan jersey to go lose. These guys put their lives on the line to make everything count and to get as much wins as they can be able to get. It's never easy out there in the battlefield. You'll see these kids putting in a lot of effort, and again, they come short. When they hold their head down, just realize, again, they're not necessarily just disappointed by themselves, but they feel disappointed because they did not do what they expected to do, and they feel like they let their fans down. But I always remind them that, again, every time you lose, there's always something that you're learning.
They call him the doctor of rugby culture, Dr. Kenyan Diaspora, who also happens to be a medical doctor on the side. Kenyan.
Unfortunately, yes. Unfortunately, today I had to cut the shift short. I had to cut our talk short because, unfortunately, I have a shift ahead of me. So I will be going to work shortly, which is okay.
The side hustle.
Side hustle.
Side hustle.
I'll go to the side hustle.
Yeah.
I'll go to the side hustle that keeps me going.
Are you going to be cutting up someone's head, or what are you going to be doing tonight?
Unfortunately, you don't know what's ahead. So you take what...
Unaenda kudunga mtu sindano.
Unadunga sindano.
Okay.
Sindano gani?
Okay.
Sorry.
Watch it.
Uno.
Sorry.
It's a PG radio show.
So my parting words will be each and everyone that is able to come to LA, show up to LA. Let's all have one voice. Let's cheer for Kenya team as we celebrate and get to enjoy the one time that both men and women get to play on the same field and the same day, same weekend. I tell you what, it's going to be big.
So we clap for this guy again.
My coffee. Thank you so much, Konye.
Thank you, Konye. Thanks for gracing us with your presence. Asante sana.
Thank you all for your time, and I really appreciate it. We look forward to meeting again and again. I planted a little seed. Let's see what we can do next. Let's see what we can do. If I need to be the one holding the camera, I'll hold the damn camera.
Okay. Sawa. Okay, that's Kenyan Diaspora. Asante sana, Konye.
Last but not least, I love all you guys. Love my fans. And you guys always do me proud. And if you have some funny videos of me cheering, just always tag me. I'll always repost you. Because, we only have one life to live. And we don't live it to our best, we'll never know.
YOLO!
Yes, but we can also sell them to you.